All right, my people. All right, let me get this going live here. Instagram. All right, looks like we're good. What is going on, everybody? Thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Lakers, another W. Another day, another W for the Los Angeles Lakers, 120 to 112, the final score. Sitting in a different seat here at the arena. So I don't exactly have kind of a view for you guys. So you guys are just going to have to stare at whatever's behind me. I'll tell you one thing. Let's go ahead and move the bottle of water, right? We don't need that in the background. Hope you guys are having a nice evening. Lakers over the Golden State Warriors, what turned into actually a pretty decent game, pretty exciting game, to be honest with you. From the beginning of the game, it looked like Lakers were going to blow out the Golden State Warriors. Then things got a lot more interesting, probably more interesting than Laker fans wanted to see, but it's still a win. I want to kind of just start off by basically saying this for the post-game show. I'm not really too concerned how Lakers are getting W's right now. Just get W's, and that was another win for them. Take it, run with it. Help is coming. Luka's on the end of the bench. Obviously, Lakers have just big pieces that are going to be a part of this franchise pretty soon. So don't be too concerned how they got the win, how they were really not that impressive in the second half. Just be happy they built the lead that they did. Understand Luka's coming. Understand Mark Williams is coming. Understand that there's probably some help in the buyout market. This Golden State Warriors team is going to be a lot better too. I mean, that's just kind of the reality of the situation. They got Jimmy Butler. Jonathan Kuminga is going to be coming as well, or coming back from injury. So both of these squads are going to look a lot different within the next, let's call it the next 30 days, as in they get a little bit of time to play with each other and they take it from there. So something to just kind of keep in mind. I think it's easy to look at this game and find some frustrations, but I'm telling you guys, I would not be too frustrated. First person I want to talk to, or I want to talk about, and I think everyone, how do I explain this? Bron had 42 and 17 tonight, and also had 8 assists, shot 14 to 25 from the field. He had a stretch there, was kind of cool moment here at the arena. Hits a couple threes in a row, and then decides literally just right in front of the half court, maybe a few feet in front of the half court line, to pull up for what do you want to call it, a 35-footer, hits a three. Lakers went up big in that first half, looked like they were in control of the game. But I just think, for a quick second here, Bron, seeing what he's still doing right now, the game was ugly. It wasn't pretty. I'm sure there's going to be some Laker fans that are talking about some frustrations with Austin Reeves or Shake Milton or some of these other guys that were very average tonight, but this is not going to be their team. So you got to understand that. Give the Warriors a lot of credit for making second half adjustments. And I want to say that third quarter, what Lakers scored, they ended up with 21 points. It looked like it was a lot worse. They were outscored 30 to 21. But they hang on and get the win. But I'm going to go back to LeBron real quick. Incredible. 6 of 9 from the three-point line. Single-handedly carried the Lakers tonight. It's not that he didn't have help, but most of his help came in the first half, to be honest with you. But if you look at everybody's stats, and, I'll give you an example. Austin Reeves, if it wasn't for getting to the free throw line, my God, that was ugly. It was. He was 4-17 from the field, 0 of 9 from the three-point line, but the free throw line is what saved them. 15-16 from the free throw line. I'll say this about Reeves. Teams like this can just focus on Austin Reeves when Anthony Davis is not playing, obviously when Luka's not there. So what you saw tonight and what the Lakers were asking him to do the entire third quarter, I was asking myself, I'm like, I don't know what the Lakers are doing on offense. They weren't running any offense. It was just hoping Austin Reeves can get a couple of buckets. Hopefully LeBron can get a couple of buckets. There was a time LeBron was on the bench and it was Gabe Vincent and Austin Reeves playing basically two-man ball. I'm like, yeah, that's not going to work. So some of those frustrations, I just want to point out, you can have some of those frustrations right now on Austin Reeves after tonight, but just know it's going to look drastically different in a very short period of time. All right, JJ Redick, get his thoughts on the Lakers win tonight. Take a listen.
We gave up a lot of uncontested threes. They had 28 three-point attempts in the first half, and 21 of those were uncontested. Now, some of those were by people like Draymond that we wanted to be uncontested. But that's just too many. So you got to figure they're going to make some at some point. The problem is when they start making threes, there's an overreaction to that. And so a lot of the breakdowns in our defense in the second half was actually us just giving up layups and making up our own rules and not having a low man. So the defensive activity that we had, particularly with our shifts and our low man and stuff, just our hands were great. We were in the passing lane, got deflections. We kind of got hugged up on our men and then started making up some rules there.
Yeah. So you guys traded for a center. It just went through.
Try that again.
Yeah, let's just run it back. What do you?
They're talking about Mark Williams.
I guess can you start with kind of what your familiarity is from his time in Virginia and Duke, and what do you think he can bring to your team here?
I met Mark when he was playing at Duke. As he was coming out of the draft process, we had a few conversations just about the NBA, agents, whatnot. I've gotten really good feedback through the years on his character and his intelligence level, and I watched him develop, and just a big fan of his, and did a lot of legwork in preparation for an interview that never happened with the Hornets last year. So was very familiar with him, and just feel like, he's a really good fit for now, and he's a really good fit for the future.
They're talking about new
When are you
addition,
expecting to have
center Mark
playing a
Williams.
game for you, and he's played in about a third of his possible games he could have played in because of injuries in his pro career. Like, how much of that was a consideration when you and Rob discussed bringing him on?
Ask the second part again. Sorry.
He's basically missed 1 or 2 out of every 3 games he could have played as a pro because of injury problems.
Yeah. Well, as far as when he'll play, that hasn't been determined yet. In terms of the medical, we have confidence in all the background work we did on the medical. Spoke with Dr. Watkins, who treated his back injury, and Leroy and his staff, Dr. Sims and his staff, I should say. I'll be respectful. Dr. Sims and his staff, did their legwork, and we're confident that we can take care of him and help manage his body, and he'll be on the court for us.
Let's get a couple more here.
Before the game, Rob told us that when Luka got here, they had conversations about just kind of the roster, and he referenced some of the success he had in Dallas with certain center archetypes. And then, Rob looked and scoured the market and ultimately settled on Mark. So with that specific pairing with those two, and what Luka's been able to do with similar types of players earlier in his career, how do you see those two fitting together specifically? Yeah,
I think Luka can play a number of ways. It would be very advantageous for us to have multiple centers that can provide a vertical threat. And, we feel that Mark is a young starting center in this NBA, and he provides that vertical threat. I think we as a staff have a job to do in developing him as a screener, a decision maker in the pocket, and on the defensive end. But we're confident with his character, work ethic, IQ that he's going to be a really good player for us.
All right,
I went
highlights here. There's Luka.
Went a little longer on that one on purpose. I mean, a lot is happening. If you guys think about it, even today, you had the Lakers couldn't make it official earlier, and then finally they made it official. So it was the first time again to see JJ Redick talk about the worst secret in the world, that his new center is going to be Mark Williams. Planka talked a little bit earlier. There's just so much that's still kind of going on, and we're still kind of getting all the I guess you can call it the just kind of the ending of the NBA trade deadline. So JJ Redick talking there, he was talking a little bit about LeBron, talking a little bit about how he thinks specifically Mark Williams is going to be able to be a part of this Lakers team, what kind of contributions he could bring to the table. I was saying this from the beginning, and I'm reading some of the comments. And I don't blame you guys. I mean, I think there's some Laker fans here that there's a little bit of frustration. Let me kind of show you guys a couple of these here. Why is Reeves taking more than 10 shots? That third quarter was horrible. Let's see what else we got here. Anyways, we got some people that were frustrated. I'm going to emphasize something that I said in the beginning. Really, truly, at this point, just be happy with a W. They're 11 games over 500. I saw the Rockets they just keep losing. Rockets have lost 5 games in a row. Hypothetically, what can happen here before we even get to the All-Star break? Lakers could be in the number 4 spot. And that doesn't even have to be passing Denver. That could just be potentially passing Houston. I don't know if Clippers ended up losing their game, but I know they did end up losing their game. So they lost to the Pacers. So even a little bit more cushion for the Lakers behind the Clippers. Clippers have 22 losses. Lakers have 19. Nothing to really bitch and complain about. Because if we're going to complain about this game, here's what you got to understand. The top 3 player in the world has not yet joined the Lakers roster. So when you see Austin Reeves jacking up as many shots as he was, and I'm not a fan of Austin Reeves taking that many shots, that's not ideal at all. You certainly don't want to see that. But when you do see that, understand that's not the Lakers' game plan. That's not what it's going to look like. All those moments that Reeves got the ball in his hands, Luka Doncic is going to have the ball in his hands. Think about what I just said here for a second. All those times that you saw Austin Reeves jacking up a 3 or a tough shot or trying to get to the basket or taking way too many shot attempts, whatever the case is, Luka Doncic is going to be the one with the ball, taking those shots, making those determinations. And then all of a sudden, Austin Reeves can play off the ball. And then Austin Reeves can actually be a guy where they can't key in on. They're going to be keying in on Luka and LeBron. And imagine what opportunities that's going to create for Austin Reeves. Tonight is not what you want from Austin Reeves. I guarantee you it's not what JJ Redick wants from Austin Reeves. And I guarantee you it's not what Austin Reeves wants to do in a regular 48-minute game. Well, that's not going to happen. So there's nothing to worry about from that perspective, right? There's nothing to worry about to think that that's what the Lakers are going to look like. They got a 7-foot big coming, and they got Luka Doncic coming. Warriors will be better. Completely understand that. I think they are going to be better. I think, obviously watching this Warriors team tonight is going to look different. There's going to be a lot of teams in the NBA that are going to look different. Teams that made trades at the NBA trade deadline. It's going to take time for a team like the Lakers to gel, but it's another win. And it's 11 games over 500. Now they got a chance. I was so off on the schedule. I forgot they play Indiana. For some reason, I thought tonight, then 2 against Utah. They got Indiana coming up on Saturday. 3 more games left before the All-Star break. If you go 2-1, you're 12 games over 500 going into the break. No one would complain about that. Saturday is going to be a tough game. I know that. I think the Indiana Pacers are actually a pretty solid team. That's going to be a tough game. But let me get to some of these comments here. Can I also say this? I'll say this, and I actually, it's kind of funny seeing it all play out. Man, I love watching Dorian Finney-Smith and Jared Vanderbilt play basketball. I got where I'm sitting today. So, excellent view. You guys want to see my view real quick? And here's why I'm telling you this, because it's like the view allows you to see the game a little bit differently. This view. Huh? Oh, look at that view. Huh? Huh? That's a way to watch a game right there. So I point that out because I'm like keying in. There's a lot of times where I just watching specific players and I'm like, all right, let me see what the hell's going on here. It is really, really, really easy to enjoy, to watch and to enjoy those 2 players. And I'm talking about Dorian Finney-Smith and I'm talking about Jared Vanderbilt. What they do, what they bring to the table, how they do what they do. They're going to be such assets. It's kind of funny. I was watching a lot of my time. My focus was on DFS, and DFS just kind of trying to pump up the team. Jackson Hayes got hit in the face and is laying on the ground. DFS like, get up, let's go. Got some work to do here. those guys are dogs. Those guys are truly, truly dogs. I mean, I there's a little bit of just like, what you really want to do is kind of enjoy the game of basketball. That's kind of my goal, my hope when I'm watching games. Those two guys really, truly, just the way they play. And I'm not telling you they're out here dropping 35. I mean, obviously they're not LeBron. They're not guys. They're not guys that can. They're not going to have the offensive capability of some of these other stars in the NBA, but they're just phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal. Nothing more that I could say about it. All right, let's then, and they also add this, toughness that comes to the table here. There's a toughness that, obviously you love to see. I didn't realize this. Let's see, Vando. Let me actually go through a couple of guys' stats, and I'll start looking at some of your guys' comments. So Bron had the 42, 17, and 8. Just like, no big deal. 42, 7, and 8. Then you had Austin Reeves ended up with 23, but most of those points were coming from the free throw line. I already told you guys how he shot and everything else. Rui got into double figures, but really wasn't all that impactful. Only 1 of 5 from the three-point line, 11 points and 4 rebounds. Dorian Finney-Smith, I mean, you guys can figure it out what you want. You guys can say whatever you want about him. Only 7 points, 1 of 4 from the three-point line. But I want DFS in the game, so I don't know how else to explain to you. I want Dorian Finney-Smith in the game. Gabe Vincent, 15. I saw some comments in there saying, hey, I was wrong about Gabe Vincent. Let me tell you this. Gabe Vincent right now is playing like the guy we kind of thought Lakers got a year and a half ago. So he's been big. He's been hitting some big shots. He looks a lot more confident. He's scrappy on the defensive side. He likes contact. There's a lot of his character that I think is why he excelled so well in Miami, a place that's kind of known for that style of basketball. But he has not been worth his contract so far. But I feel like over these last couple of weeks, I feel like it's a different Gabe Vincent. I don't know what happened, but I feel like it's a different Gabe Vincent. And I've heard JJ Redick mention his name a couple times in regards to, what he's been able to do. Okay, let me point out a couple other stats here, and then I'll start looking at some of the comments. Jared Vanderbilt, 14 rebounds. Just a dog. Just an absolute dog. It's so funny. I remember people were saying that when Vando was on his way back, I think people were saying something along the lines of like, here we are complaining about Vando, and now he thinks he's a savior. I'm like, no, Lake fans were not complaining that Vando, they weren't ever complaining about his game. They were complaining about how many different times we all thought he was coming back and he wasn't back yet. So I think that's where, obviously some of the frustration was lying, but it had actually nothing to do at all with his actual game and what he brings to the table. Here's a couple here. Vando fundamentally changes the outlook of the Lakers. LeBron has been amazing. Slee, I'm missing Max. I hope we don't regret letting him go. Well, I mean, they got to get something back. What do you want Dallas to get back? And I know what you're saying. I'm missing Max too. I guarantee you the coaching staff is missing Max. I guarantee you everybody's missing Max. But you got to give Dallas something. I mean, I think we're fortunate enough that the Dallas Mavericks didn't take on their way of getting Anthony Davis and Max Christie. I'm still don't understand how they didn't also end up getting the 2029 and the 2031 and Dalton Connect. Like the Lakers should not have had the assets they had to go get Mark Williams, in my opinion. I don't think they should have had the assets to go get him. All right, let's take a look at some more of these comments here. Adrian, thanks, Al. Laker fans, appreciate your hard work, dedication. Keep it up. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you very much. I appreciate you. All right, let's keep going here. Let's focus on the positives. No, I said this a little bit earlier. I genuinely don't really have too many negative things to say tonight. I think you just got to get a W, and the Lakers were able to do that, and I give them all the credit in the world for doing that, for getting that done. There were some moments, certainly some moments so far in this game where there was a stretch there. I'm like, I don't know if they're going to pull it out. But kind of timely plays, get to the free throw, like little things were happening that were going the Lakers' way that was helping them, I guess you can call it, survive. And they did survive. And kind of like, I guess that's going to be my theme. I don't really care how they won. I'm just happy they won. Anytime you win, it's the same thing kind of we're saying with Anthony Davis. If AD's not in a game and you got a W, you take it and run. You say nothing. You complain about nothing. You just enjoy it. You appreciate it, and you move on. That's how I kind of look at it. All right. Let me look at a couple more here. By the way, quick shout out here. Smokey731 is now a YouTube member of the Sliwa Show. You can be an MVP member. It costs $3 a month. It's a great way to support the channel, great way to support the work that I'm doing in the morning, the post-game shows that I'm doing. It's a way to help grow the channel. So if you have any interest, you want to be an MVP member, I'm going to put a link right now in the chat, and you could feel free to click on it. $3 a month. Eventually, I'm also going to have exclusive content, special emojis, all that stuff. I'm going to cater to those who are members with special content. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate you being a member. Okay, let's take a look at some more of these comments here and keep things rolling. And hopefully we get a chance to hear from Braun. As soon as Braun talks, I want to kind of get his thoughts, get his opinion. It's kind of interesting seeing Luka there, huh? Seeing Luka over at the end of the bench. Obviously just kind of hanging out, getting a first time here at Crypto.com Arena. Before the game started, he went to center court. They gave him some love, and it's kind of a trip. It's going to be a trip when he plays. I don't think he's playing Saturday. We were listening to JJ Redick talk before the game started, and JJ basically said that it's trending, no setback or anything like that, but it's looking like he's probably going to play on Monday, not on Saturday. So I know ESPN grabbed that game. I think they flexed the game, and they're like, all right, all eyes on Luka and the Los Angeles Lakers on Saturday at 1 o'clock against the Pacers. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Looks like he'll get an opportunity to play on Monday, probably most likely Monday, when the Lakers take on the Utah Jazz. So keep that one in mind there as we, obviously figure out scheduling-wise when Luka comes back. That will change everything. I've said this before. I was talking about this morning that it's really, really tough to kind of predict what this Lakers team is going to be because they changed. 6-7 guys are gone. 6-7 guys are here in this span of, let's call it a week. All the different guys that are gone, a couple starters are gone. You're going to try some different things. You got one dude coming from the Charlotte Hornets, another guy coming from, obviously coming from the Dallas Mavericks. So it's going to be a weird transition to see what this team can do. And it's not like you got a lot of time to figure it out. Got about 9 weeks before the actual playoffs start. So it will be a little complicated. Don't get me wrong. It definitely will be a little bit complicated. But at the same time, that's kind of what you're hoping for, is see if they raise that ceiling. Here's Braun on the Lakers win. Braun on his performance.
What do I think? That I'm old. that's what I think. Yeah, I need a glass of wine and some sleep. That's what the first thing I think about.
Joining MJ as the only two guys 40-plus club.
The biggest thing is that we got the win, obviously. But like throughout my journey, anytime I've been named or in the category or whatever the case, cross paths with any of the greats is always humbling. Just to know where I come from, and I love the game so much, so it's pretty cool.
You've been closing out your pregame workouts by shooting logo threes. I noticed this year, I don't know how long that's gone back. When did you start incorporating that to kind of your prep, and can you just describe the moment when you hit your fourth three?
Well, no, we just added to it. Obviously, me and St. Jean, go through our pregame workout, and I usually kind of end it with that, knowing at some point that it's possible that I could, take one throughout the game. So I always work on things that I'm shooting the game or plays I'm gonna do in the game. So it pays off for sure.
Ron, you got a feel for what Mark Williams is going to be able to bring to you guys?
Sheesh. I haven't even had time to really wrap my head around it. Obviously, young, athletic, big. He's gonna give us another lob threat along with Jackson. And looking forward to getting him here. I think I was surprised that we was able to get him, to be completely honest. Just seeing his length and seeing how young he is. He's 23 years old. So looking forward to getting him here to get him acclimated to our system, and we look forward to what he brings to the table.
There was a moment against the Clippers where you scored, got fouled, and you looked over. There's a camera that caught you look over to Luke and something. I think this is what we're going to do. After you hit the three that Dave mentioned.
I never said that.
That's not what you said?
No.
The internet got something wrong?
I never said that. I don't even know what I said. And I looked at the whole bench, I never said that. I see people go out there running with that TV. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. Whatever.
Okay.
I never said that. I never said that.
He was one of the people that celebrated with you.
Yeah.
After the three. Today, you posted something the other day on Instagram to you guys, just like, the level of excitement to just actually get out there and have that player next year.
I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait because he everything that I do on the floor, I mean, he just has the ability to do it or even do it better. That's how great he is. Even at his young age of 25, he's such a unique player, special player, generational talent. So, be super appreciative to be able to, share the floor with him and then watch him do his thing. So, it'll be good. Go ahead. No, you're good.
I think it was your first televised high school game. Bill Walton was doing color commentary, and he said of you at the time, the basketball is like an extension of his mind. I'm wondering, on a night like tonight, 20 plus years later, how does that quote resonate?
First of all, I miss Bill Walton. He's always a fan of mine and always kept it real with me and always appreciated my game. He wasn't one of those old school haters that we have in the NBA, so I rock with Bill and obviously Luke was, my coach when I first got here. I rock with their whole family. They super cool. To go back on the extension of my mind, I've been able to be in a position where I try to see the game, before plays happen, try to put myself in situations out on the court before you actually get out there. And the best thing I've had a lot of experience, and the best teacher in life is experience, to be able to go through things, understand, okay, this is what happens. This was, you may, if you come about this time, okay, you've been able to do it previously. Okay, I know how to attack it there. But I was taught the game the right way as a youngin', and I've always had a feel for how excited I got when my teammates is successful. That's never changed.
I think you make it just sort of the general.
I'll make final one here.
Physicality, some crazy scuffles, hard foul.
Oh, there?
Yeah, tonight.
Oh, anytime you go against Drake, every time you go against Drake, man, it's going to be some extracurricular activities. So you better be ready for it, and you better lift before the game. And that's going to happen.
All right, we'll stop right there and keep this thing going. So, it's funny when I seen some of the comments, and I'm listening to Bron, and it sounds like he's also trying to figure out, all right, what's this going to look like with Luka? Tonight was such a perfect example. I kept saying to myself, they were really struggling in the second half, had no offensive feel, didn't really know who to create. Kind of everybody's looking at each other like, somebody going to hit a bucket. The whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, yeah, this is where Luka will just take all that pressure off of everybody, including LeBron. As great as LeBron was tonight, you're not going to get LeBron dropping 42, 43, 40-plus points, nor do you want that. So I think there was a little bit, at least from my perspective, there was a little bit of okay, when he does come in, imagine how much easier he's going to make everybody's life. Because he can go out and drop 50 for you, or he could go out and just, because he's out on the floor, he can make Austin Reeves just take the 12, 13 shots that he needs to take. He can get Rui the open looks that he needs. He can get Gabe Vincent the spacing that he needs. He can get an easy bucket for Vando here, an easy bucket for Dorian Finney-Smith. He can get LeBron sitting on the bench, and the Lakers don't just plummet. It's funny because listen to LeBron. They just asked him about the new center, Mark Williams, and he said, I haven't really got a chance to wrap my head around having him on the floor as well. So help is coming. I mentioned help is coming. How it's going to come in different forms, but it's definitely going to come at a time where the Lakers most definitely need it. Okay. I want to focus on everybody's questions, their comments, thoughts on not just tonight's game, but NBA trade deadline is over, so there are no more trades. It's going to be the buyout market that's going to be next. Before I do that, I want to talk about here real quick, and it's going to be important for me to mention them. We got a new partner here that's a part of the channel, part of the show. Very, very appreciative of somebody who I have a personal relationship with. Brad Wallace of the Wallace Firm, injury attorney. They're based out here in Los Angeles, but they can help with anybody in the entire state of California. I will tell you that he is somebody that I used to work with back in the days, back at 710. He targeted me when I was at 710 to do his reads and his endorsements and everything else. And then here he is following me on my journey on YouTube as well. He's a phenomenal business owner. He's a friend as well. And I bring him up, and I love this partnership because I can be very genuine about my relationship with him. He could potentially help you. I hope you never need him, but if you or someone you know was in a serious injury, you should reach out to Brad Wallace. I can make a personal introduction if that would help as well. Let him walk you or your family through your legal options. I'm sure it's very intimidating. It's a daunting process. Let an expert like him handle everything for you. I mentioned in the entire state of California, we got a URL so you can fill out for a free consultation. It's wallacewins.com/Sliwa, wallacewins.com/Sliwa. You can get your free consultation. Again, hopefully you never need him, but if you are, or someone you know, or a family member that is in some type of a serious injury, wrongful death, something along those lines, let Brad Wallace try to help you. I can make you a personal introduction, and hopefully it's of benefit to you and your family. Okay, let's keep things going here. I did mention that I want to start reading some of the comments here, so let's start getting into that. Let's start off some of the ones that I already starred. Mavericks organization, biggest clowns ever, trade Luka, buffoons. What was I reading today on Twitter? Did I see something? There was somebody reporting that there's going to be, well, the interview I did this morning with Brad Townsend, part of the Dallas Morning News, said that there could be some protests that are going on in their game. When's their next home game? Is it on Saturday? I saw something earlier today where they're basically like, there's some concerns. Yeah, here's the quote here. Mavs expecting, quote unquote, weird scene in first home game post trade. Clay Thompson says probably a lot of heartbreak amongst the fans, probably some boos, but as a professional, you have to embrace everything, and we're paid to play this game and perform at the highest level. A couple other quotes here. I don't know what to expect. I knew Luka was so dear to every Mavs fan's heart. There is GoFundMe right now where they're putting up billboards criticizing both general manager Nico Harrison and the Adelson family, which bought the team from Mark Cuban last year. They're not happy. Kyrie Irving was a couple days, says he's grieving over the loss of Doncic, as in the loss of him on the team. I will say this, the more that I've kind of thought about this, the more I think that I'm under the assumption that Nico Harrison, clearly, I don't know what the hell he was doing. Is it safe to say at the end of the day, the responsibility goes to the owners? If Mark Cuban was the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, then they wouldn't have traded Luka Doncic. But he's not, which I think is why he found his way as a Los Angeles Lakers. So I think a lot of that frustration is fair from Dallas Mavericks fans, but I think it's got to be more at the ownership. They should have somewhat of a pulse of, obviously what that team is, what that franchise is. So, all right, let's get some more in here. No hurry, Luka. Take your time coming back. We still love you. So glad you're a Laker. That's kind of funny. Well, of course you love him. I mean, he's the top 3 player in the league, and he was just gift wrapped to the Los Angeles Lakers. I can't wait to see him play. I really can't wait to see him play. Let's get another one in here. Luka looks more and more comfortable with the team on the sidelines. I'm sure it will translate, but still got to build on court chemistry. Yeah, that's why I mentioned those 9 weeks. You know, if Luka comes back Monday, you got 2 games before the All-Star break, then you got the All-Star break, then you come back, you just got a handful of games left. It's not like they're going to have a lot. How many games have they played so far? 30 and 19, so they have played 49 games. They'll get to 51. You're about 65% of the season done. They'll have just over 30 games left on the season. Not a lot to get you ready for the playoffs, but that's what you got. That's the situation, and it kind of is what it is, to be honest with you. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think they'll, obviously have to try to figure it out from there. Austin's a good player, but he thinks he's better than what he is. For all those frustrated at Austin Reeves, trust me when I tell you this. Let me read you Austin Reeves' stats real quick to not help with your frustration. 4 of 17 from the field, 0 of 9 from the three-point line, but was 15 of 16 from the free throw line. Also had 4 turnovers. Here's what will help you feel better and sleep better at night. He will not take this many shots when Luka's there. Luka's going to be taking 20 to 25 shots. Where's Austin Reeves going to be able to get 17 shots or have the ball in his hands this much? He took 17 shots, and that's not counting the free throw lines. He got fouled 8 different occasions to get there 15 to 16 from the free throw line. So all of that's going to change. He's going to end up taking, remember that line? We did a post-game show before. Maybe it was during the Sleba show. And we were talking about what would be the ideal line for Austin Reeves. I think we all said, hey, take 10 to 13 shots, somewhere around there. Take maybe 4 threes, 5 at the most. See if you can get 5 or 6 dimes to go with a few rebounds as well. His turnovers are going to go down. His shot attempts are going to go down. And hopefully he's just more productive. Hopefully he's just more of a dangerous weapon because it's less predictable when he's going to contribute. Don't worry about Austin Reeves. Guys, Luka's coming. For the love of Jesus. How many times do I have to tell you guys? Huh? Luka's coming. All right, let's get some more in here. Monday should be a national holiday with the Super Bowl being on a Sunday. Super Bowl needs to be on a Saturday going forward. That has nothing to do with the game, but I couldn't agree more. That's one of those comments where it came out of left field. I know the Super Bowl Sunday. I know you want Sunday off or Monday off or put the Super Bowl on Saturday. I'm with you. Timing of the comment is interesting, but I agree. All right, let's get some more in here. Luka doesn't look like he's 270. Not at all. Not at all. Another bad look for the Mavs is they were trying to shame this man on his way out. MVP Nico. For all I know, we might retire Nico's jersey depending on how this whole thing goes. Let's get some more in here. LeBron was having fun tonight. LeBron was dominating tonight. The NBA is in trouble because this is the first time in LeBron James' career that he's considered the second most important player on his team. So the chip that's already on his shoulders is going to grow. I think the chip's on Luka's shoulders. I don't know if it's on LeBron's, to be honest with you. What's LeBron got left to prove? LeBron's been just amazing and still amazing at this age. I think the chip's on Luka's shoulder. If you guys see people just kind of walking around behind me, what are you going to do? They're working. They're working. I'm in their territory. I'm lucky that I'm here. All right, let's get some more comments in here. Shout out here, Zach. Thank you very much for being a new member, brother. I appreciate you. David Vargas, a brand new member. If you guys want to be a member, get in on here. Be an MVP member with Slee. Thank you for supporting the channel. I appreciate you guys. David Sabatini, what's the starting lineup when Luka comes back? I'll tell you what the starting lineup I want. Here's the starting lineup that I want. Let me actually just look up one thing here. Oh, I got a decision to make here. Here's what I'll do in my starting lineup. I'm going to make this a topic tomorrow, by the way, so we can do it in the morning. Michael Thompson coming on tomorrow as well. He's going to join me for the show, probably about 8:30. I want to get his thoughts on the NBA trade deadline, the Lakers now with Luka, Clay's in Dallas, kind of that perspective. So that's going to be a fun show with Michael. I want Luka at the 1. I want Dorian Finney-Smith at the 2. I want Bron at the 3 or at the 4. It doesn't matter. Rui there with him. Hold up. I know people are already like, Slee, why are you putting Rui there? And then I want Mark Williams at the 5. That's my starting five. I want Reeves coming off the bench. I want Gabe Vincent and Reeves coming off the bench. I want Vando in that lineup as well. I want Jackson Hayes right there. That's already 9 guys right there. What do you think? What do you guys think of that starting lineup? I want Reeves coming off the bench. I don't think he's going to come off the bench, but I would like Reeves off the bench. So that's my personal hope there. My personal hope is that Reeves is coming off the bench. Let's see what some of you guys think on this. It's a good topic. Very, very good topic, by the way. All right, let's see what we got here. See what people think. Reeves off the bench is perfect. Biggest, let's see here. Biggest lineup in the league. Look, I thought people were going to say this. Switch Rui for Vando. Here's the only reason why I want Vando coming off the bench. By the way, who closes games? That all changes. That just depends on the game. I thought people were going to say throw Vando in. I think Rui gives you another threat from an offensive perspective. And what you don't want to have is you don't want to have all these people trying to double on Luka or double on Bron. They got to respect Dorian Finney-Smith's shot. Mark Williams is just basically going to be a lob threat, kind of do some work around the basket. I think Rui can still be a weapon with these guys. If I got Rui as a weapon off the bench, well, now they could kind of focus in more on Austin Reeves and some of these other guys. I'd prefer that that's the starting lineup. Figure it out from there. That doesn't mean that that's how you're going to close out a game. I'm down to have games where he's closing out. I'm talking about Jared Vanderbilt. All right, somebody here says they love that lineup. Rui not going to the bench, even though he should. He's not going to the bench. And I'm okay with it. Listen, Rui's going to get looks and opportunities, and he's going to be able to slash to the basket, and they're going to certainly try to find him in certain looks, and there's going to be so much attention on LeBron and Luka that I think he'll capitalize off of that. Reeves not going to the bench. I don't know. I like my starting lineup. I like my starting lineup. Got to be honest with you. I might go to the back right now in the locker room and just kind of slip slip one of these, just like the JJ. And then it just has Sliwa's starting lineup, and then it has everything there. Maybe he looks at it. Hell if I know. Maybe he looks at it. All right, let's take a look here. Slee going another 3 hours tonight. There's 3 guarantees in life tonight. Death, taxes, and Slee was definitely not going 3 hours. Safe to say? You guys got to be sick of me at this point. I'm sick of me. There's times I'm going home and I'm like, it's just sheer silence. I'm like, stop talking. I've been talking for 7 hours straight. Shut up. If you guys talk to yourself like that. All right, let's get a couple of these going in here. Lakers should sign Ben Simmons. We could use another water boy. Crypto will kick Slee out in 10 minutes. One of these days, I should just kind of sit here and see how long I could go. Basically, until I get kicked out. With that jacket, Slee easily getting past security. Probably not. Probably not. All right, let me get some more comments in here. Shout out to my people here real quick. Just real quick. David Vargas, new member. Thank you, David. Bill Slaughter, new member. Bill, I appreciate you, my brother. Ron and Sandy Soriano, new members. Thank you. They're splitting it. $1.50 each. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you being new members. Read my super chat. This happened to me this morning as well, where somebody sent me a super chat to remind me of their super chat. I'm getting to it, man. I'm trying to do a show here. All right. I feel the pressure. 42, 7, and 8 from a 40-year-old is crazy, Al. You're right. It's stupid. Listen, I hope people, and kind of funny thing is, like, I watch LeBron. I'm like, LeBron looks old. Like, he actually looks old. His face is starting to look older. He's starting to look like he's, the wear and tear and everything else. And he's still blowing by these guys like they're nothing. Still pulling up for threes, still doing this, still doing that. Just credible. Give that man a lot of credit for what he's doing. All right, thank you for the super. And then thank you for the other super telling me about the original super, which is like a double super. So thank you, brother. I appreciate it. That's a new one for me. That's twice today that I've had somebody send me a super reminding me of their old super. All right, let's see what else we have here. King Taco on Sliwa. Let's go. Which one? There's one in Pasadena. You guys want to go out there? Let's see. Let's see what here. My days are brighter since I became a member. Well, that's phenomenal. Thank you, brother. Sliwa, where's your bourbon? Guys, that's enough. Okay. Last time I got bourbon, we were on for 3.5 hours. Okay, my people, I think we did good tonight. Go practice your free throws. 80% free throw shooter, bro. No question about it. Right now, put me out on the court. I'm hitting 8 of 10. 8 of 10. Hands down. No questions asked. All right, my people. I think we're good. Solid win tonight. Again, I'm going to kind of continue. Oh, actually, I haven't even said the next game coming up. Give me 2 seconds here. We're not done yet. Lakers over the Warriors, 120-112. Let me continue to emphasize. If there were some areas of tonight's game that you weren't crazy about, don't think about it. This roster is going to look a lot different in a week. Let's put it that way. And who knows how, as soon as Mark Williams comes, it became official finally. That was kind of getting delayed. So we couldn't even talk about it to Coach Redick pregame. We had to wait till postgame, or I was listening to them talk about it postgame right now. The roster is going to look a lot different. Luka probably doesn't go on Saturday. Let's talk real quick about Saturday's game. Saturday's a really tough matchup. Wait, did Indiana end up losing to the Clippers? What the hell happened? No, they beat them. All right, the standings aren't updated then. Yeah, they had a loss against the Clipper or against the Blazers or something like that. Indiana's 29-21. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. They're number 4 in the Eastern Conference. Saturday's a tough game. Like, it would have been really, really nice to have Luka come in on Saturday. I think it's going to be a real challenge for the Lakers to win that game before they got their, final 2 games before the All-Star break against the Utah Jazz. So it's going to be a tough one. Standings-wise, I mentioned a little bit earlier, Lakers kind of creeping up to that number 4 spot. What's crazy, you got a little bit of cushion here. When I did the standings earlier, I don't think everything had been updated, so it's updated now. 30-19 are the Lakers. They got a little cushion between Minnesota and the Clippers. Minnesota's got 23 losses. Lakers have 19. Clippers have 23 losses. Lakers have 19. Nuggets, Rockets, and Lakers all with 19 losses. So they're all within about a game of each other. So, I mean, phenomenal. Phenomenal to be in that position. Very, very impressive to be in that position. Yeah, I'm a little surprised that that's the case. A couple here on Instagram. As long as AR keeps getting his looks. No, that's not good. We want less looks. Who do you think we're getting in the buyout market? That one's been very quiet. I genuinely do not have an answer of who they're going to get in the buyout market. I just am very, very happy that they created a spot for themselves. One more on Instagram. A win is a win is a win. Not pretty, but the Lakers got the W. What happened to the Lakers in the second half? What happened is Golden State made adjustments, came in the second half, and were solid. And Lakers were obviously trying to figure it out from there, kind of playing from behind from there. How was the energy in the arena when, Josh, I appreciate the super. Once they started, actually, LeBron kind of was going through his run. First half, much better energy. A couple times things got a little chippy, good energy there. By the time we got, obviously, there were moments of the second half where it wasn't, as great. I got a whole crew with me. We're all doing the post-game show. I'm doing it. Everybody behind me is doing it. It's like a 3-man weave right here we're doing. All right, we got any more comments, or are we calling it a night? I think that's it, guys. I think that is it. Okay, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. I'm gonna let these people do their job, and I think we got a solid, basically 50 minutes. I'm back on tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Back on. Michael Thompson's gonna join me at 8:30. Hang out tomorrow. We'll continue to talk Lakers. We'll kind of preview the Super Bowl. Get ready for that as well, and then we'll see what else is going on in sports. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you for being a part of the show. Do me one favor. Please subscribe to the channel if you guys have not subscribed. Only like 500 away from 30,000. So it's been doing great. So I appreciate you guys doing it. And we will see you guys tomorrow morning. Elias, you're a real one. I am not eating cereal tonight. I know exactly where you're going with that because I know I've done that in the past. Tonight, we'll see. I'll probably snack on something. Thank you guys. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.